So next up, we have, really it's a time to shed a tear. This truck, some other shop put the stereo in, and supposedly in those doors are some high energies from Hertz, which is an amazing speaker. But I can tell you right now, they're not supposed to sound like this. Yeah, that's not right. The plan is to pull out the speakers because they're blown. They're not supposed to sound like that, as you can imagine. We're gonna take these out and we're gonna replace them with some Mille Pros. These guys right here. So we got the Pro MPK 165.3 and then the MPK. So basically separates and coaxials. Now he has a JL amplifier up underneath the seat. Let's go over there. I've already gone ahead and taken the top off to try to figure out where it all went wrong. I don't know what they did. There should be no reason that those speakers are blown. So we're gonna go ahead and have to retune all this and figure out why they blew in the first place, because that should have never happened. First thing I really wanna do is polarity test it, because maybe something was just out of polarity and he wasn't getting the mid bass he wanted and he was jacking things up. I don't know. Grab the disc, Fernando. Let's go ahead and pop these things and see what they do. What do you got?
I got everything green.
Alright, me too. So, alright, so nothing was out of polarity, so that's a positive. At this point, we're just gonna start taking this car apart, find the crossovers. If he needs roadkill and fast rings, we're gonna go ahead and add those. Let's get started. All right, let's head over to the bench and take a look at the equipment we're putting into it. Grills and tweeter mounts. And inside here we have our speakers. So we got a nice cast aluminum basket, decent sized magnet. Hertz likes to use the same size speaker terminals on both sides. We got a nice silk soft dome tweeter. Alright, so inside the crossover we have a 0 and a +2 dB. On the tweeter, there's no negative, which is kind of odd. We're gonna go ahead and set them both to 0. Default is +2. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop out the tweeter pod here and see what they did. So the tweeter actually will snap into place, which is nice. What we just need to do is remove all this stuff off of here so that the grill can go back on. Alright, so once we remove the grill off of the tweeter and remove all the guts out of this just snaps right over the top of this. Lines right up. Sits nice and flush. In this car, they use the wrong spacers. They just use the 1/2-inch spacer. Best Kits makes the BKG MSB 356, which is the factory adapter, which looks just like the factory speaker. All you need to do in order for this speaker to fit in there is just go ahead and break off these little tabs right here. Once broken off, speaker fits right in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some roadkill. We're gonna roadkill the door and also add some fast rings. right, so we have the crossover mounted. We went ahead and made a bracket so that we could mount it back in flush so you can't see this giant Hertz logo right there. So that's all set. This door is done. Mid-range is in there. Tweeter's up in there as you saw. Let's move on to the rear door, putting a set of coaxials in there. We have the rear door off, as you can see, and this is what we're dealing with right here. Put a 5 1/4 in here, and they just cut a piece of hardboard, screwed it in, done. We're gonna have to fix that. All right, so we've actually made them before, so that's not a big deal. We have a template for it. The one thing I will tell you is that if you are doing one of these and you have the time, Metra does make a panel for this now, just like they do the front. It's called a 3020. You can look it up on metraonline.com. We don't have that panel yet for whatever reason. I thought we ordered it, but I guess we didn't. Or we did and it just never came. So we're gonna go ahead and make a couple of these real quick so that we can mount that in. We're gonna add some roadkill and some fast drinks and actually put a 6 1/2 in there like it's supposed to be. Drill the holes for the screws before you router it out. All right, so we have the basic template made for the rear doors. We haven't cut the holes yet. Let's grab the mid-range and take a look at those so we can get the right size. Now those did not have grills in the box, so they might not make them. You might have to buy the grills separately. Looks very much like the front. The tweeter is countersunk inside, which is really nice. Gonna be this guy right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get this guy taped onto this, get this over to the router table, finish making some templates. All right, so we have 2 panels. We'll go ahead and add some foam to them and, you know, eventually get them in the car. All right, so this chamber right here is, there's like a brace in the middle. This is where the speaker goes, so we're gonna sound it in this area here. We're also gonna put some on here just because this is so hollow sounding. So we'll put a chunk inside of this as well, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll basically do the same thing we did on the front. Now you see us both wearing these gloves. This stuff is sharp, okay? So if you want to retain your fingertips, wear some gloves. All the speakers are in. We're gonna do some polarity checking, but first, before we do that, we're gonna put the DD1 on the amplifier here so that we can go ahead and set the gains, get those all properly set. Then we'll screw the speakers back in, we'll polarity check, and then we'll do crossovers to make sure that they're all where they need to be. Let's take a look at the amplifier again real quick. So what I went ahead and did is unscrewed all the speaker wires from the amplifier, and I added in our heat shrink so that it's all color coded, and I put a piece of red heat shrink on the positives. We have our DD1. So the first thing we're gonna test is clipping on the radio. We have our gains turned all the way down. We're playing a 40 Hertz test tone. Go ahead and turn the volume up. All right, so that is clipping. Turn it down right there. All right, so where are we at?
31.
All right, so 31 is going to be our clip for the radio. Now what we want to do, this is a high pass channel, so we're going to go to 1000 Hertz at -5 dB, and we'll set our gain from there.
-5,000.
All right, so now we'll start turning up our gain control. All right, let's go ahead and unscrew it and go to the rear channel. And we'll go and do the same. Clipping. For the rear channel, we're just gonna go ahead and set it to clipping. Chances are good we're gonna turn it down. We just wanna know where maximum volume is. All right, so let's go ahead and do the sub channel now. All right, so we have our sub. We'll go ahead and start turning that up. And turn right there. All right, we went ahead and we have our gain set. We went with -10 on the subwoofer, so that's 5 on the highs, 10 on the sub. Like I said, we'll probably end up turning the rear down a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and get everything hooked back up, and we'll do a little bit of polarity checking. All right, so we got the tick, tick, tick.
All right, green in this side.
All right, so we have our gain set, we have our polarity checked, we're green all across the board. Next is the listing and setting the crossover. So let's play some music. So we went ahead and we're playing just the speakers, just the front, just the fronts, just the rears, no sub, to get what, you know, make sure that they're not distorting, make sure there's not a bunch of coming out of it. So we have the gain set, we have the crossover set, we're adjusting in the subwoofer now. Go ahead and press play again, Fernando. All right, so what we got is a balanced, good sounding system. Just in case you're wondering, of course, he's got 2 JLs and a stealth box underneath the driver's side of the rear seat. Rolled it all in good. He's got the subwoofer knob here in one of the little cubbies right there. We're gonna go ahead and put the top back on the amplifier, get this thing out of here. It is done. Fernando.
Yeah, let's go.
You already forgot what to say? On to the next one?
No.
Fernando.
On to the next one.